Welcome, everyone, to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast for Tuesday, July 26th, 2022, the post-Comic-Con edition, alongside Ian Ferguson.
Yeah.
I'm Pat Contry.
That is.
On the show today, we'll be talking about all the hot news from Comic-Con, all the pop culture news you can handle, MCU announcements. We're talking about Vince McMahon retiring. We're talking about some breaking news on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Cowabunga collection, exclusive news that we got.
I don't think it's exclusive.
Well, they weren't giving out news to everyone, Ian, there.
No, I asked him. He said, no, it's all public now.
Okay, then. Too late. It was breaking a few days ago.
But it's still breaking for a lot of you.
It was breaking when I saw it on Friday or Saturday. So anyway, Ian, we talked about a little bit about Comic-Con, but how was your weekend? We didn't talk about all about Comic-Con. Comic-Con returned to summer. It was in the fall, the little mini edition, which was still huge, but this was the main Comic-Con back.
Yeah,
three years.
Right. So we talked about it a little bit in the bonus bits.
Bonus Patreon.
The bonus bits on Patreon. In addition to the Comic-Con stuff, I got to see some old friends that I hadn't seen in a while. Ate a lot of pizza, drank some tiki drinks. Sure. I've started working on music again. Interesting.
Like Comic-Con you were spinning?
No. Well, I mean, I've been doing the DJ stuff again recently, but a friend of mine sent me a very nice surprise over the week, and I got a new synthesizer that I was not expecting. Just showed up on my doorstep. And so...
A new synth?
Yeah. And I've been messing with that, and it's been fun to get kind of creative again. But in addition, like Comic-Con wise, one of the things that I love to do is get some free pinball in because Stern is always there. And they usually always do their booth, and they usually have a few new machines there, their newest machines. This year they had Godzilla and Mandalorian on the floor, which is great. I mean, it makes sense. Those are perfect themes for the show floor. And then in their... at the Marriott, they do a free pinball lounge where they usually set up both the pro and the premium models of a handful of machines.
First time I saw that there. That was nice.
Oh, yeah. No, they've done it. They've done it. I think they did it 2019, 2018, maybe 2017.
Yeah, it was nice. Nice open area. It was like 25, 30
About 25 machines.
Yeah.
And they had Comic-Con wide leaderboards that would update from the machines.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I
actually away a prize for high scores.
I don't know, but on at Saturday night I was on the top 10 for Rush, and I was on the top 10 for Deadpool. But I think I eventually got knocked off. Someone actually texted me, a popular pinball streamer that I like, Deadflip. Someone messaged me on Twitter that he was streaming and trying to take my scores down. So I don't know if that actually happened or not, but I would imagine he's a much better player than I am. So yeah, that's always fun, and it's a good way to get out of the crowd. Yeah, to go do a Marriott thing.
Did Nintendo have a lounge this year?
They did not.
So because they're usually in the Marriott right next door. If you get ever in the Comic-Con, the three things, you get the Marriott, then the Convention Center, and then the Hilton Bayfront on the left side of it, and usually those three, that's your main three areas.
I don't think I've ever done anything at the Hilton.
You ever done a panel there? I went to see one of the earlier Rift Tracks panels there in like 2011. It was like pretty big. It's like not Hall H size, but that's where like the second biggest panels usually are there. It's walking distance.
Yeah, I usually end up in the Marriott for a drink or like for the pinball or the Nintendo stuff.
I have a pinball contribution to the podcast.
Yeah?
Queen Pinball announced.
Yeah.
Show some fucking respect to Queen.
I like Queen. It's not Queen. That's the problem.
This is the article from pinballnews.com. It was from July 21st. They revealed a prototype in London last year. I didn't know that. So this was shown last year. Swedish pinball company Pinball Brothers have today officially announced the launch of their Queen pinball machine. Two versions, of course. Champions Edition, $92.95. While the Rhapsody Limited Edition will be $11,000. Like their Alien game. You ever play the Alien one?
I have.
Is it good? Queen games will be built by Pedretti Gaming in Milan, Italy. There you go.
My opinion on the Alien game is to be decided. I need to play more, but I did not like it when I first played it.
The Rhapsody limited edition will be 1,000 units and will feature illuminated artwork on the cabinet interior and on the back panel, a shaker motor, a special shooter rod. Like swap out the rod for something else.
No, that usually there's usually like an ornament on the end of it.
Great. Gold colored metalwork. Okay. Gold colored cabinet and back box art package, numbered plaque and certificate. So of course everyone's gonna want that. Once you're spending 9,300, you might as well spend 11 grand. Like, that's how they get you.
Yep.
Right. 14 tracks.
All live, I believe.
Yes. These are like greatest hits stuff. There's no like
no deep cuts.
No deep cuts. The deepest cut will be Seven Seas of Rye. That's one of the earliest ones that ever shows up on a greatest hits, because their first two albums was their weird experimental like themed albums where it's like ogre battles and weird shit, and it's like that didn't really stick. So Seven Seas of Rye is like the earliest one you see that there. But yeah, so you got We Are the Champions. You got Bohemian, obviously. Another One Bites the Dust, Kind of Magic, which is from the Highlander soundtrack, which is great. You know, that version you can't fucking buy. It's different on the album, and a bunch of other ones. So yeah, I'd want to play this. I'm not saying I want to buy it, but Queen's my all-time favorite album. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in checking it out.
I'd like to play it. I don't hate Queen. I like Queen. This was announced literally the day after I made a Twitter post saying I would really like to stop seeing geezer rock bands.
Queen's not geezer rock though. Queen. You cannot go a week without watching TV where Queen songs not used on a commercial.
Sure.
And I'm being deadly serious. They are in the pop culture. Their hits.
Well, all of these bands are in the pop culture. I'm just saying specifically like 70 eras rock and roll that is meant to move machines to 50-year-olds.
Sure.
And it's not because I don't like some of these bands that get the treatment. I love Rush. I love Iron Maiden. I like Queen. As a theme, I'm tired of it.
Okay.
I don't think the playfield looks great, but I've played a lot of playfields that I didn't think looked great and really enjoyed them. So I just don't like the look.
I think Queen's a cut above those bands, but okay.
Queen is not a cut above Rush.
I put them on the Rolling Stones sort of scale, where it's like they're going to be listened to 100 years from now, still on commercials. It's like, okay, agree to disagree. That's fine.
Anyway,
that's fine.
Anyway, moving on.
That's fine. That's fine. So yeah, Comic-Con was fun. I spent $440 on acrylic. It was the most I ever spent at a single Comic-Con. But when I look back, I was like, I bought gifts for
really
people.
The most.
I spent like $600.
Okay, 600. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think the most I ever spent was like 500.
Even when I tried to remember when I bought that dumb Transformers G.I. Joe crossover, big ass one that I ended up selling to someone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was like $200, $240, but like I was like, I'd probably spend a huge amount above outside of that. I don't usually buy expensive comics. I'll buy like one or two like comics maybe. I think I bought the first appearance of I bought Luke. Yeah, I bought the first appearance of Luke, I bought Luke Cage, Power Man #1, like several years ago. I don't know if it was worth anything. Who the hell knows?
Right.
Bronze Age comics were common. Once you get to the 70s, comics are fucking common. They're all common. But that's really it. And I used to buy stuff with Frank, like trade paperbacks and, you know, the random. I pick out Daredevils for Frank that were beat up, trying to go, you know, fill Frank's back catalog there. But yeah, AFA was there. AFA is the action.
What's AFA?
The Action Figure Authority. They're also the people who do VGA, the Video Game Authority.
Right.
The OG video game graders. And they were selling both mint on card figure and loose cartridge and box game acrylic cases. So if you buy them there, you're saving on shipping, and these things are heavy. You're saving on tax if you pay with cash. And then it's a deal on top of it. So, like, for example, the NES cases, for some reason, the same price, different acrylic. I bought five cartridge cases and 15 complete in box cases, and they were only $15 each. You can't. You're going online. You're gonna be paying double that.
They're nice cases too.
No, they're great.
They're great.
The slide out at the bottom. It's funny because I told them, not humble bragging, but like. When I got my NWC cases made, you couldn't get NES. There was no cart cases. For any
sure.
system.
Yeah.
We're talking 12 years ago. I had to measure it and send it in. and get that. And I told him it was funny. Both times it was sent back. It was a proper length and height, but not the width. It was like a double NES. They had to send me. They did it twice. They sent it back both times. But I said to the guy that was there, I said, you might have used my measurement to start making the NES once he left, so we might have done that because they didn't do that at the time. So I bought those.
So it was the same guy, the same people that did the
same ones I got. That came from 12 years ago. So I got 15 of them. 15 for $15 right there. I got 20 of them for 15. That's $300. But then I came back on Sunday. I'm like, I got some G.I. Joe mint on card. I might as well pick these up.
Right.
And these were the UV upgraded ones.
They won't fade.
I think the normal ones have some UV protection, but not a lot. And these have like 99%.
You need it with action figures, otherwise you're going to get all that yellowing. So my G.I. Joes have been in a box in the garage. Ones I got at the flea market. That was not a flea market madness. If it was, would have been one of the best deals I ever got. $10 each. I bought about 30 carded G.I. Joe figures, most from the late 80s to 90s, but I did get mid 80s ones, including Tiger Force Sneak Peek and Tiger Force Psych Out, which were European exclusives, which I did not know at the time when I bought them because I didn't have a smartphone in 2010, 11 when I got it. Mm-hmm. Someone got the Tunnel Rat one before me, which is the most valuable one, which I'm pissed I didn't get the Tiger Force Tunnel Rat, but whatever. So I went back and I bought the remaining ones that they had. She said, there's 7 left, 25 for 1 or 40 for 2. I said, well, give me the rest of the 7. There was an 8th one in there. I was honest. You give me one more. She said, okay, you're fine. So for $140, I got 8 cases. If I bought them online, because I'm an idiot and I'm OCD by this, I went home to see how much I saved. It would have cost double between the discount, shipping, and taxes had I bought it online. So I basically got it for half off. So I'm like, okay. So then I come home, Ian. I'm like, all right, let's get the G.I. Joes out of the box in the garage where they've been. I feel bad.
Forever. I really bought these for the two Tiger Force exclusive European ones because they're worth several $100s each. You can't find them. They didn't come out here. And so then I'm like, I first put in the, I have a Airtight, the nerdy, geeky Biohazard guy that I loved. It wasn't a lot of episodes, but we all loved Airtight. He fit fine in the case.
We all love Airtight.
Airtight's great. It's fucking great. He's a geek. He's like a science geek. He's nerdy. Anyway, so and then I get out the Tiger Force Psych Out, and I slip it in the case. And they had that tab on the top to keep it flush. I had to get like a ruler and press it down because if the car's not straight, it won't fit under the tab. No one told me about that, AFA. I'm trying to close it. I'm like, wait a minute. The card can't close. Why is this? Is this in all the way? So the European G.I. Joe figures, the card's a half-inch longer for some reason. For no reason at all. So I got to now buy 2 more ones that fit those. I don't know if it's...
Do they make a European size
Yes, they do. They make everything. It's called like the long European.
Long card or long European, sure.
Yeah. So it's expensive though. If you're buying if you're a collector and if you're buying acrylic cases for every figure, you're spending thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
If these are like $25 each, then you buy like this. Like for example, I have the G.I. Joe movie Slaughter's what is it? The Renegades, the 3 guys. I have it's like a big wide one. So that case alone is probably $40-$50 just because it's a irregular shape. So it's an expensive hobby. That's why I can't get into it.
It's too much.
So I bought that.
I bought space too.
I bought about 5 gifts for other people there. I was like texting people. Okay, what do you want? What are you into geeky stuff? And get a list of stuff. Okay, you like Black Widow? There's these cute little keychains. I might have picked out a couple for friends. Everyone likes plush pillow cats. I picked up one.
We picked up some stuff for my sister-in-law because she's never been. So yeah, we did a couple of gifts.
It's good to gift because you don't think about this stuff until you see it. Like, oh, that's kind of cute.
I bought Vonnie some gifts.
Yeah. I'll sure to get them.
I already gave them to her. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of the attendance, it was not peak. It was probably 30% less people if I had to guess in my pat math.
It was a lot more comfortable.
I knew that on Friday. When I walked on Friday,
I felt like Saturday was the big... I thought it was glaringly obvious on Saturday.
Bing! Well, everyone was shopping on Sunday, so it was mostly crowded on Sunday. Yeah. At least on the right side where you were.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were busier Sunday, I think, than we were Saturday.
But on Friday's a busy day.
Yeah.
Saturday's busy. You could hear yourself. It was like audibly less noise. It was like, oh, This isn't like loud at all.
I've become an earplug person, an all-the-time earplug person. I didn't need them.
I never use them at Comic-Con, but like usually at Comic-Con, when you get towards the middle, where like Sideshow is, and usually where Marvel is, you have to like really struggle to get through. You didn't have to on Friday. I'm not saying it was clear paths, but like you walked through. You weren't waiting to get through.
Did you go Thursday?
No, I didn't go Thursday.
Okay, I heard Thursday was very, very busy. I think that was the best money day, at least for our friend.
People are getting the early deals.
And you know, it's probably different for different vendors. For someone like him who's selling $10, like has a whole section devoted to $10 t-shirts, people are like, we got to go there first before all the good shit is gone.
They had a reputation, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. They've got a reputation for that.
Okay,
it was funny because a lot of people were wearing shirts and they were like, we bought this from here last year.
There you go. There you go. We could throw some podcast shirts in there that we haven't read. We just have smalls left of the Chibi shirt. We could have threw them in there.
Yeah.
Next year, Ian, we could do that. I went immediately. It's funny. It worked out this way. I went immediately right. I usually start from the right, work my way. I do one day. I think I did it on Saturday. I do everything. I do everything. And you could do it in a couple hours if you keep a decent pace.
Yeah.
You can do it.
You cannot do it in a couple hours with someone. If you're alone, yes.
If you're alone, you're like stopping here and there. You can do it in a couple hours, maybe 2.5. So I did that on Saturday by myself for most of it. During the weekend, I hung out with Destiny FOMO, Pixel Dan, and Andre a lot on the weekend. I didn't walk around with Ian this year because Ian was working. No Frank. Frank has been there now 4 years about. And no Frank Cifaldi. None of the Franks were there. Yeah,
it was sad.
Unfortunately. But I walked right immediately, and it was like just like a weird thing. Limited Run was there, and then my buddy Roger from iMockery, who's doing the Sin and Cyanide game. Happiness and Cyanide game, excuse me.
I saw him briefly, but I didn't say hi. It was just crowded, and I was busy, and I saw him walk by, and he said hi to Vani. But yeah,
they were both next to each other, like just by themselves on the right. So it was just so weird that they were both there. It was like perfect combination there. And so I got to say hi to him like immediately. And it was funny. I said to the Limited Run folks, hey, you selling my book? And she was like, oh, yeah, that thing's heavy. I'm like, yep. No, it's heavy. It's actually heavy. They weren't selling my book at the event, but they have them on the website at the store for that. So, no, it was fun. I had fun. I hope everyone stayed as safe as they could. They were requiring masks, even though they weren't enforcing it. I'd say 95% or more people were wearing masks. There, so that's good. And you had to be vaccinated or show proof of negative tests before you got in. So, best you're gonna do there. Do you want to talk about the MCU stuff a little bit?
I think you're better. I think you're better to start it off. But yes, we can talk about that, of course.
Okay, so I'm less and less excited about superhero stuff every year. We've been inundated with this. It's been 14 years. It peaked with Infinity War and Endgame. I don't think we're ever going to reach those heights again.
Nope.
We just aren't.
We just can't.
Because it was a perfect amount. It was only 2 to 3 movies a year. There were no TV shows for the most part. It was just like, there were, but no one cared about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. No one cared.
Like I've said before, it was a fun experiment, but I just don't think I don't think people in general are going to want to do that sort of intense lore following.
Yes, but now there's more and more of it too.
Right.
It's too much now.
Right. No one wants to go through another 10-year story.
But now it's like, well, I got to watch 4 movies a year, 3 shows. We're talking like it goes from watching like, okay, 10 hours of your time a year. You got to give up 70 hours of your time in or 50 hours. Like that's just not reasonable.
No,
I want to watch other stuff.
Not.
I've started getting into Better Call Saul, which is like amazing. And so I'd like to diversify my content viewing. Something, not everything has to have a superhero and a cape in it. I'd like to watch other dramas,
Absolutely.
So that's fine. And I've realized as I got older, maybe my tastes have changed where it's like, okay, I have a certain amount of fantastical stuff I can take before I want real reality, more interesting things to me.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the big news is that we're going to have 2 Avengers movies in 6 months in a few years and a Fantastic Four movie like within a year of each other, like those 3 movies.
That's a crush. That's just insane.
Yeah. We're gonna have a season 2 of Loki. I'll just run through everything that you're gonna get. There's a ton of stuff because we already had in this phase 4 Black Widow, No Way Home, Thor: Love and Thunder, Eternals, everyone forgot that came out. And everyone forgot. You said you forgot about Shang-Chi that came out, which I like Shang-Chi. I think it's pretty good.
I mean, I'll watch it at some point, but it just slipped past me.
But Black Widow and Eternals were the first ones where I was like, you know what? I can skip these. And now it's been more and more easy to skip stuff in general. I skipped Moon Knight. I thought I'd be on Moon Knight because I like the actor and I think the character's pretty cool. And I'm like, I haven't watched it yet. I haven't had the time to invest in it.
I think that's the only thing I saw Doctor Strange. And I watched Moon Knight, and I think that's all of Phase 4 I've paid attention to.
Did you see Spider-Man yet?
I haven't seen any of those Spider-Man movies. None of them.
Okay. Well, this last one was good. She-Hulk's coming out. I'll watch She-Hulk. I always liked She-Hulk. It's going to be a goofier comedic thing, and they're going to have Daredevil show up. Lawyer, makes sense.
I am excited for the Daredevil announcement.
An 18-episode Daredevil season.
We need it.
Good old Kevin Feige. That's his favorite thing, obviously. He wanted it back, and so we're going to do it. You're going to get your Vincent D'Onofrio back, probably.
Yep.
I will go on record again. Daredevil is the best MCU thing that's ever existed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Of all the movies and TV shows, it's the best thing.
I still am really, really, really partial to Winter Soldier as a movie, but I think, but as far as a developed... Yes, there was so much care put into that show for a character that almost no one hardcore cares about.
It's a B character. It's not an A-lister.
Right.
But, I mean, it's a beloved character, but it was never going to be like someone that could carry a movie franchise. Oh, I mean, they tried with Affleck, but that movie was awful.
Right.
There. Okay. You're going to get Secret Invasion series. That'll be interesting. The Echo series, I don't know about that. I guess we'll see. It was a side character in Hawkeye, and I think Daredevil's going to show up in that as well. I'm kind of weirded out about the side characters getting their own series, like the one from WandaVision getting their own series. I'm like, I don't know about the interest.
It's a content mill. It's just a churn.
Yeah,
it's just a churn.
It's like, okay. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is obviously coming out next year. It's going to be the last one. The Marvels is going to be coming out. Is that later this year or next year? And then Secret Invasion is going to be a dark and gritty political conspiracy thriller starring S.H.I.E.L.D. legends Colby Smulders and Rita Hill.
Could be fun.
I'm more into that. Something different. Let's get something different. I'm kind of into that. I liked Hawkeye because it was something different. So
I do need to watch Hawkeye.
And then season 2 of Loki, I really don't have interest in that. I didn't mind the first season, but I don't know if I need to revisit that again. I just don't know. Blade's still coming out. I keep forgetting they announced Blade. They announced a new Blade like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, didn't they?
It's been a while. You're going to get an Ironheart series who's being introduced in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
She shows up briefly. Yes, Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Okay, that'll be the series, and then Captain America: New World Order, new movie.
Is Agatha the side character from WandaVision?
She was a villain.
Okay, I never.
Great actress. She's funny. I don't know if I want to see that.
Sure.
I do want to see She-Hulk. That's the one I think I'm invested in. There's a new trailer. They cleaned up the CG. People were happy because the first trailer was like a little iffy on the CG. So, well, that's what happens. You need more time to work on this stuff. And then, yes, Daredevil's going to be in that at least. So there's a lot of stuff. And then Phase 5 is going to end with Thunderbolts, which is the villains. It's
Phase 5 or Phase 4?
Phase 5 is going to end. So like we're basically starting.
No, we're on Phase 4 right now. We're halfway through Phase 4.
Okay, so but Phase 5 is going to be in 2 years. So like I guess we're starting Phase 5 is like lickety split almost soon.
I don't know. The one article I said halfway through Phase 4, but they're already clearly talking about a lot of Phase 5.
Yeah. And then we're going to get to Fantastic Four for Phase 6, and then that's going to where it's going to be nuts. You're going to get Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars, May and November of 2025. So they're really, it's almost like, well, you had almost a year and a half of not doing anything because of the pandemic. It was tough, and now we're going to ratchet up and catch up, basically. I guess.
I
thought Fantastic Four would have been out by now. You have to wait a couple more years. I thought they would announce like cast by now, maybe in the fall, because they do their D23 thing.
So I forgot they're Disney. They're part of that now.
Well, it's their own convention thing.
Yeah, I know.
So that's what I mean. They're gonna probably announce stuff like that, and the Deadpool movie, like that's probably gonna be like more announced there, like Deadpool 3, like for sure, like stuff like that. That's what they're saying.
Sure.
So anyway, it's a lot of content. But the one we're talking about, Wakanda Forever is coming out in the fall. Amazing trailer, but
really good trailer.
Trailers can deceive.
Yes, they can.
I've seen good trailers before in crappy movies. I am very cautiously optimistic. Like,
yes,
this can go really wrong.
Yeah, it absolutely can.
Because they're obviously acknowledging the death of Chadwick Boseman, so they're killing off T'Challa, which I have said I disagree with that. I think they should have recast it, but they want to pay. The movie's going to be an homage to the character and the actor. I understand it, but you're going to tread really dangerous ground, I think, and how people receive this. Because already there's like a more growing backlash about people wanting the character to be recast. They said Chadwick would have wanted that, continue the character. Well, they're not going that direction. So I'm more excited about Submariner. Namor getting finally a movie. He's one of the original heroes from Marvel. Him in the original Human Torch. Very underutilized in like the history of the comics. It's good to see it finally. They couldn't do it before because it was tied, I think, to the Fantastic Four rights for some weird reason. Through Fox.
No, I think it was tied to the Spider-Man.
No, it's tied to Universal.
Oh, okay. I thought it was tied to the Spider-Man Sony stuff.
No, it wasn't that. It's not a Spider-Man character. I believe, yes, it was Universal.
No, I know he's not, but I knew he was attached to something strange.
It was a Universal thing, like Hulk.
Okay.
That's right.
Got it.
That's right. It wasn't his for. So they're changing it. I don't mind the change. Now it's going to be like a Mayan sort of underwater like thing. It's very Mayan-esque. Versus being totally Atlantean looking. There's some, it mixes in though.
Sure.
Some more look like the blue Atlanteans. And talking to people in the biz that I know, it's like, well, they wanted to tie it more to the real world, and they also didn't want people to say, oh, this is just like Aquaman.
Right. That's fair.
Submariner came before Aquaman.
Yes. But Aquaman got popular through movies before Submariner.
I know, but it's a shame.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's one of those characters that I would have loved to see it totally the way from the comics, but I'll reserve judgment until I see it. I think they can still do it justice, but like I would have loved to see, because he has such an iconic look, and whenever he's been drawn, it's always the same in the comics. It's never really changed over now 80 years. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know who's gonna be the Black Panther in this. If it's going to be Shuri or someone else. There's a shot of the butt of the Black Panther at the end with the claws coming out. Please, so obviously,
not Shuri.
What's that?
Please not Shuri.
No.
I mean, simply based on the actor that plays her.
So we'll see. I think I'm looking forward to it, though. I'll see it in the theaters.
Yeah,
I'll see it in the theaters.
Speaking of comics, every time I try to give this guy a chance. This is from the Onion AV Club. How fake accounts and a powder keg fandom helped Zack Snyder restore his Justice League, by Matt Shimkowitz. This is an interesting article. Check it out. Detailing basically how unorganic, and I think we've talked about this. Yeah, how unorganic the Snyder Cut machine was. Inorganic.
Yeah.
In terms of, getting the studios to let him do his 4-hour fucking overblown vision. And it sounds like
which wasn't a director's cut, by the way.
Right.
It wasn't. They shot a hell of a lot of new stuff, and it was a totally different thing.
Right. And he weld, the power of this fan base over, executives and people to get his shit done. So
release the Snyder Cut hashtag campaign.
A good chunk of the Snyder Cut champions were bots or fake accounts.
Of course.
Some of which, according to Rolling Stone, Snyder helped whip into a frenzy between the first release of Justice League until well after Snyder's version bowed on HBO Max. Two reports commissioned by Warner Media showed that at least 13% of the accounts that took part in the conversation about the Snyder Cut were deemed fake. The norm on Twitter is roughly 3 to 5%. So as the outlet reports, real stands were amplified by a disproportionate number of bogus accounts. And it goes on to talk about how I believe it was Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook each had a person in charge of managing the bots and directing them to whip up essentially the fan frenzy. So 13% doesn't sound like a ton, but it's clearly over what Twitter usually deals with. And those 13%, it's not just a number. Those 13% were used to basically they more bang for your buck in that 13% in terms of whipping up the frenzy.
Because there was more maybe engagement.
They were more engaged.
They were more doing
Correct.
stuff.
Right.
The report, this is from, the AV Club reporting that Rolling Stone did this stuff. Good old Rolling Stone. The report is even more damning for Snyder, whom Rolling Stone all but accuses of actively manipulating the media and weaponizing his fan base against studio execs and journalists. As one source told the outlet, Zack was like a Lex Luthor wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
After 2019, when popularity surrounding the Snyder Cut movement led to your standard series of death threats and memes depicting the decapitated heads of Warner Brothers executives being sent to the families of said execs, Snyder continued to leverage his fan base. He knew what was going on.
Yeah.
He knew.
He knew.
In one instance, he allegedly warned a reporter who published a story about a Flash casting announcement he took issue with that his fans...
We're pretty
rough. A bully.
Yeah. A bully.
I remember Snyder, his big thing was he had an Instagram post where it was like showing the canisters of like his cut. This was like 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was, like, saying that it exists. I remember that was being a thing where it's like, oh, he says he has it ready to go here.
Right.
Where it was just like, no. He had to get tens of millions of dollars. I think it was like 70 million that they spent in order to film more stuff, cut it together, and then, do more new CG for like the big battles with Darkseid and everything, and do all this shit. It's Darkseid, right? Darkseid, just spell like Darkseid.
Yeah.
Darkseid. So like, it's kind of weird, but I wonder how now like the industry's not looking at him, because they realized that what happened. Will he ever be a big director again? Will he get a lot of projects? I know he did that zombie movie. But like, I really wonder if this is like what kind of like,
if this is going to be a bad moment for him,
where it's like, well, you got what you wanted, but at what cost?
At what cost?
At what cost?
Your reputation.
Like, is he going to do? I'm now going to look up like, what is he doing now? He's doing Army of the Dead Las Vegas. That's what he has. He's going to be a director for a TV thing. Films. Zack Snyder's Justice League 2021. Army of the Dead, so I guess he's doing the whole Army thing. I don't know what it's about. Oh, Army of Thieves is a heist film. Army of the Dead was a zombie one. So there you go.
You know what has a sterling reputation?
What does, Ian?
Your website. I botched that. UltimateNintendo.com.
Did you forget the name of the
It
store?
took me a second. Yeah, I'm having a morning.
And what can you get at UltimateNintendo.com, Ian?
You can get books, pins, RBI baseball stickers, other stuff.
You can get
shirts,
t-shirts,
t-shirts,
and
t-shirts
and
on
weird
there.
sizes that are left that aren't in the bin where Ian was selling at Comic-Con. I'll be on Twitch Wednesday, twitch.tv/Country Code, and I recorded an emergency cameo at Comic-Con. It was one of those like 24 hours. Cameo.com/PatCountry. If you want it within 24 hours, it's a premium.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh my God, I have 2 hours left to do it. And I recorded at Comic-Con, and the person liked it for their birthday.
Oh, good.
The guy said his wife was tearing up about it. I was like, oh, there you go. That makes it all worth it. The cameo, that's why I was so surprised. The cameos don't come in off anymore. When I got, I'm like, oh, damn, it's a 24-hour one. I got to get it done. And people next to me, I was like sitting down like at one of those pillars, like by the stairs, and the person next to me was like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, hey, what's going on? Recording myself. Talk about this rug pull article.
So this isn't, I mean, this touches on NFTs, which we cover. But so there's an article basically on, we've talked a lot about Republic in terms of the Intellivision Amico. But Republic is also used for a number of other things. And apparently it's been fairly popular in terms of being used to raising money to back cryptocurrency, to back like a new cryptocurrency.
What can go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? So this article is about Parastate. Parastate was they did an initial coin offering on Republic, raised a massive $8.2 million. Now, with that much money on the line, if things go poorly, people will be upset. However, this has been a pretty brutal one for anyone that invested. After raising the $8 million, they listed their token on Uniswap so people can trade. It immediately plummeted. After 1 day, anyone that invested likely lost as much as 90%. This is from Caleb Naismith. It's Democratizing Finance is the website. I mean, that's just insane. But at this point, I have to wonder what what do people think? So why are they doing this? So it talks a little bit about how, like, basically, if they raise 8.2 million, it wouldn't necessarily be unheard of. And I don't know if this is how they did it. They listed their token. Sometimes people will put it up for 2 times what they do the pre-sales for.
I see.
So if you buy $500 worth of this coin, when it's listed, you've got $1,000. Why wouldn't people use this as a get rich quick scheme? You know, you put your 500 in, you get your $1,000 worth of value, and you immediately cash out. And that's what happens. No one holds when that starts to happen.
Yeah, when the whales sell.
They sell, people get nervous, and they start to, then the people underneath them sell because they want to recoup at least some of their money, and then you leave people with nothing. And it's just...
You get some bounces back out where people think, oh, I'm going to buy them cheap, but then it just crashes. There's the dead cat bounce at the end.
But people say that Republic has been kind of shady about it when people were complaining. Oh, not kind of, really shady. When people started to complain, they turned off comments where on whatever it was that they could leave comments on. Like we've seen on the Amico, the comments. Right. And they mentioned, so the article does early on talk a bit about how Republic has a lot of blemishes right now, and it does bring up the Intellivision. One of the biggest debacles prior to Parastate was Intellivision. Intellivision raised $11.5 million from Republic investors and several more millions in pre-orders. That's not true.
That's not true.
Only for the company to constantly delay production, lose millions in a botched manufacturing deal, $1.5 million.
We don't talk about that enough, by the way.
Yeah, and is currently sitting on the brink of bankruptcy. So interesting to see that Intellivision's failure is big enough that people are mentioning it in articles about, failed cryptocurrency.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as an aside, I mean, the Amico's going to go down as one of the weirdest failed ventures we've ever seen.
Yeah, I keep saying, like, I'm tired of talking about, but 5 years' time, we haven't even begun to hear about the shit that was going on there.
No,
it's going to be solidified as a big problem.
We'll get a book.
Or a big deal.
We'll get a book.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we're going to get interviews from people that were there.
Yes.
We're going to get a documentary probably eventually how disastrous it was. Because if we think it saw a disaster from the outside, imagine what was like working there.
Right.
Imagine working alongside Tommy Tallarico every day.
The disaster that we've painted is just from little snips and bits that have come out.
That's from us extrapolating using common sense. Imagine how bad the stories are behind the scenes. The stories from the devs, things they were told. The stories from people potentially doing business deals with Tommy, like how bad those stories are. Like, right. It's going to be, we painted it in too well of a light, probably. I mean, we kind of did the whole time. But anyway, I just think it's weird how they could say on Republic, they can look at this as an investment. Like, what does the SEC filing show for a fucking cryptocurrency?
Right.
Here's the risks. It's crypto.
Yeah.
It does nothing. That's the risk. It does nothing, and you'll probably lose your money. Like, is that in the risk section?
Let's talk about what's not risky. It'll be a lot easier. Nothing.
Yes. Like the risks. Well, most crypto goes to shit. Right. So you're gonna probably lose your money. Can you imagine that? Like, I'm not saying they're good for doing that, but you're doing this coin. You're going to walk away with millions of dollars of people behind this. It's like, well, we're doing this. It's legal.
Right.
It's legal. These are just fucking marks. They're marks. You're marks on the blockchain. Blockchain marks. It's NFT crypto.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's bad. I feel bad for some of these people. Like, there's more and more like Coinbase. There's other marketplaces where you can't get at your money. It's gone. They're filing for bankruptcy. Your money is literally gone. You cannot access it. And people are like saying, well, I have a kid now. I can't make rent. I put everything into this. I feel bad for these people, but everyone was warning you for years that this is bad. Well, I mean, really bad.
At some point, I mean to sound mean, but I don't feel bad.
I honestly feel bad for these people because they were taken for a ride. But like everyone, the vast majority of people are saying, this is a scam. You're getting scammed. This is all going to come to a bad end. And now we're seeing it. Ian.
Yes.
Real quick, thanks for coming into the premiere of the part one of the trilogy of Tommy voicemail calls compiled. We're going to probably do them every Sunday or so, Saturday or Sunday.
People seem to be real happy.
Yep.
I'm glad Joey's getting the recognition he deserves.
Good old Joey Freeze. the talent behind that. Everyone knew it was no one did. Everyone out there thought it was like other people, and everyone was wrong. Everyone was wrong. Everyone was wrong. A lot of people are now like, well, these are fun. We want the reactions of us cut up, the more we actually listen. I'm like, great, give me more work. I guess I could.
I saw that. It makes sense. I mean, but yeah, that is more work for you.
Right, give me more work. I got enough going on as is. So yeah, that's good. And I want to mention that I was really happy to hang out with people. I don't have really close friends locally in San Diego. A lot of people across the U.S., other people. So it's good to see Andre, see good old Pixel Dan and his lovely wife Christina. Hung out with Destiny FOMO, Roger from My Mockery. And then Chris Kohler, we'll talk about a little bit later because he was there representing the Cowabunga collection. And they all came to Castle Country on Saturday night. I ordered pizzas. Ian will be proud. It was the closest thing I ever had to a housewarming. And we sat outside with the fire pit with the couches that never been used before. And we ordered pizza and we all hung out. It was fun.
I am happy that you got to, and I wish I could have been there, but I had prior plans made a couple weeks in advance, and both parties were catching up with people I hadn't seen in a long time.
I didn't plan it. It was sort of like Friday morning. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Why doesn't everyone just come here to hang out? Because it's not too far. It's quiet. It's like you get away from the craziness. And we just order food and hang out. So it might become a new tradition. And it's funny because Andre had come over when he first arrived on Tuesday night after the podcast last week. He came into town. I was exhausted, but he came over. We ordered food, and we watched Knight Rider together. I was explaining him the Knight Rider lore the same way I explained to you at one time. He was getting into it. He loved how like the transitions for the commercials was like you see the car going, and the screen has a still, and like it goes small and zooms out. Yeah, that whole effect. But no, it was great to see everyone, and I'm really super proud of Dan blowing up, and he was at Hall H at the 40th anniversary of Masters of the Universe panel. Literally, he was the first one who spoke. Kevin Smith, who moderated, went to Dan. It started with basically he had I think one or two people from the new show. He had Dolph Lundgren was there, who played it in the movie that I've never seen still because that movie's actually not that good now.
Oh, it's fun. I mean, it's not good. I mean,
I heard how bad the finale is. They ran out of money. They were like fighting like in a room with smoke. I heard about that. Spoilers, where it's just like they said we ran out of money. We couldn't shoot anything else.
Anyway, I liked it as a kid.
I was out by then. I was more to G.I. Joe. But anyway, so he was there. And then Dan was there. Dan was tearing up on stage in front of like several thousand people in Hall H. And Kevin Smith was like, lean into it, man. Lean into it. Because just talking about how nostalgia he was for how his mom used to buy his toys and stuff like. And I'll tell this story that Dan told me when he was backstage afterwards. Kevin was like, your mom, she's not dead, is she? And Dan's like, oh, no, she's not. She's okay. Because Kevin Smith thought how he was crying. That was like, she was. And then Bill Shatner walked out on stage to the shock of everyone. No one knew, even the panelists didn't know. Bill Shatner, good old Will Shatner, 91 by the way, still ticking. He's gonna voice a new character in the next season of Revelations. And then he came up to Dan backstage afterwards and said, Dan, you did a great job. And spoke to Dan. Dan was like, holy shit, I'm talking to Will Shatner. Like I'm talking to Captain Kirk. And so I'm really super proud of Dan. He's worked one of the hardest workers I know that has done this for 14 years. He was going back and editing multiple videos a night, putting them out. This is stuff I used to do at Comic-Con. I know how tough it is after you go and doing the book. And so
he grinded until he made it.
There you go. Love Dan and Christina. Vince, who I don't love, Vince McMahon, forced out. We saw this coming.
Hate him. I don't have
disgusting.
I don't have a ton to say other than I am cautiously optimistic for the future of the company. Triple H, Paul Levesque.
Paul Levesque is back in.
He's back in
doing creative.
Head
of creative. That was Vince.
His NFT era and run was great. I mean, it was
his baby.
I loved watching. Oh, I said NFT, didn't I? I think NXT. His NXT run was great. I for 2 years, I mean, Vonnie and I every week
You used to tell me how much you loved it.
would watch NXT. Great matches, just enough storyline, but
down to earth stories.
Down to earth
Like,
stories.
let's say like 80s like NWA style where there's some story but it's more toned down.
Just great stuff. And it honestly gave me a level of respect for him that I didn't have prior, because it was clearly something he loved. And it was, like you said, it was his baby. He cherished it. And what was surprising was that he really did pump up and promote these wrestlers doing new shit. And it wasn't all just flippy acrobatic stuff. They were different styles and just good matches.
Regal was the general manager, and
which was amazing.
Everyone loves
And
Regal.
it was interesting because it's not exactly what I would have expected, Triple H to promote. I figured he would have tried to go for more of that big man 80s and 90s style wrestling, because he himself, always carryable, did not have a particularly deep moveset.
He was a B to B plus wrestler at best, at his best matches.
Right.
Like a solid B.
Yeah.
People go down and go, he's put on great matches. Has he ever put on a great match with someone who doesn't wrestle as well as him? I'll just say.
Right.
That.
No.
That's the point.
No.
Has he ever raised someone's up?
I don't think he's ever elevated anyone. I think he's been elevated many times.
Yes.
But that said, I thought he was fantastic in the creative role. I hope very, very quickly here they just burn NXT down and try again.
Well, they took him and Shawn Michaels' power away and then ruined it, supposedly.
I haven't watched it, but I heard it was just main stage stuff, but shittier. Just changed the style of NXT.
And we know they ruined all the NXT wrestlers they brought up.
Because Vince,
even the big ones,
Paul would bring them up, and I mean,
they bring up champions, and within 6-7 months they'd be forgotten.
He was gifting the main roster with just. We always talk about how there are no new superstars that in 20 years we're going to look at like The Undertaker or something like that, because they just keep falling back on what they have.
Yes, they're afraid.
That was, I think, Triple H's real attempt at trying to put some stock in the future of the company, and Vince shot it down every time.
No, who was the one that went to then I think TNA or blew up, and he came to the main roster. He was a champion. This was like 2-3 years ago for the pandemic. He was used as a fucking jobber. He was like a champion in NXT. Who the fuck was that? He was the guy, the tan guy that was like the like 6'3", 6'4", good looking, chiseled. You know what I'm talking about? But he came to the roster and they did nothing with him. They wouldn't even let him like speak on the mic. It actually became like a joke where before he would speak, someone would cut him off.
It should have been. NXT should have truly been developmental. It should have been what was developing the next generation of stars. And there was just such a disconnect from NXT to WWE. There was not a smooth transition for any of them. I don't think any of the big ones from that era ever went on. Tyler Breeze was huge in NXT.
Well, at least he was using WWE for years, and as you know,
he was used, but I mean,
it wasn't as big, but he was used.
Whoever fucking God, I don't even know the names anymore.
There's too many.
The Bray Wyatt's brother was in NXT, and he was fantastic.
Oh, that's right. He would run around the ring. They used him a little bit, yeah. Then he kind of fizzled out.
Becky is the only one I can think of that got her start.
The women were the ones that really transitioned over, like Sasha
and Becky,
and Charlotte.
But the reason why is because they didn't have a bunch of old timers to fall back on. Like they were going to,
they didn't have a good women's roster,
right? So they needed the roster, whereas Vince was more than happy to just fall back on the roster he had always known instead of giving some of the new guys a chance.
Sure. So now more's been coming out the past 48 hours. WWE finds $14.6 million in unrecorded expenses made by Vince McMahon. This is in the past 48 hours, 36 hours.
Whoa, so what is happening with WWE stock right now?
Well, it went up after he resigned. It did go up.
Oh, okay.
But this
shareholders have got to be fucking
This means
pissed.
They have to go back probably and redo their official filings with the SEC. You can't just...
Oh, yeah.
This is $14.5 million that were off the books. Going public was the worst thing that ever happened to this man in terms of stuff, because you can't hide this shit forever. You can't when you have a company like this. You can't get away with this carny shit. There's going to be a lot more.
And his response to it is like, clearly, for me, I feel like I'm leaving in disgrace. They're letting me say this very simple thing. At 77, time for me to retire. Thank you, WWE Universe. Then, now, forever together. WWE hashtag thankful hashtag. Like,
sure.
The fact that there is no big speech from him means we need you to shut the fuck up and get the hell out.
Oh yeah, his lawyers and whoever. The fact that he went on TV a month and a half ago or whatever it was and saying, "Oh, I'm here," and like, it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, remember initially when we talked about, we expected a lot more bluster. He was talking about how he was going to go out there and talk, and I think someone was like, "No, you're done."
But the fact that he even went out and said, "I mean, he's here forever," and he walked out, and I think he's been on TV a little bit, but like, that's it. No goodbye. Just get the fuck out. And then,
the first response is translation. I really can't come back from all of this. You can't.
He's fucking done. If we're talking to government, saying like, "Well, that's interesting. Well, Vince, tell us about this 14.6 million. How many women do you think that is? 10, 5, 8, and what else are they going to dig up? You kidding me? If you're a stockholder, stockholders gonna be like, where's this? Was there more money going away?" What a disaster. He just wanted to be accepted by the mainstream. He wanted to be taken serious as a businessman. He failed with his bodybuilding thing. He failed with the XFL twice.
Yeah.
And now The Rock bought it for peanuts, and now it's coming back next year. And I guarantee with The Rock behind it and his team, it'll be a much bigger success because it's someone who's probably smarter about it. Plus, it's going to be working with the NFL directly now for like development stuff for new technology and rule set. So it's very... Yeah, I think The Rock and his investment team only bought it for like $15 million. It's coming back next year, version 3. So yeah, Vince just wanted to be a big boy. You wanted to be taken seriously. I'm a serious businessman. No, you're a fucking carny. You're a fucking carny that disrespected everyone.
Yep.
And the people that ever worship him, I think it's disgusting. They do the bow down thing to him.
Gross.
Why? Because you like his little male soap opera that much?
No, I think it's because some people fucking admire him.
They really admire the strong man. He's a strong man. He gets things done. He says what we're all thinking. He doesn't care. He ogles his daughter on camera. Ugh. Stephanie's going to be co-CEO, by the way. So there you have it there. No Minecraft NFTs is pretty big.
Yes.
Long intro, but I don't care.
Minecraft and basically announced that there can be no NFT usage within their program, and that basically sunk a project called NFT Worlds that was using Minecraft as the basis for their
like the promise
NFT game. Basically, it was like NFT skins and characters and things like that. And Microsoft, because they own Minecraft now, was like, nope, no, you can't do that. And I mean, just completely destroyed. I think it was close to 10 million in valuation. Maybe I got to look at that.
So people were going to assume that this was going to be all hunky dory to do an integration like API.
Yeah, basically that's what they were doing. They were doing integration with Minecraft, and Minecraft was like, no, the fuck you aren't.
I love their release on the website because it was like, in bold, integrations of NFTs with Minecraft are generally not something we will support or allow. They're not going to,
right,
at all. And then they go into, what is an NFT? How does this affect me? They like break it down, I guess, for people that don't know about it. Some companies have recently launched NFT implementations that are associated with Minecraft world files and skin packs. Other examples of how NFTs and blockchain could be utilized with Minecraft include creating Minecraft collectible NFTs, allowing players to earn NFTs through activities performed on a server, or earning Minecraft NFT rewards for activities outside the game. Each of these NFTs, blah, 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 blockchain, digital ownership. We are also concerned that some third-party NFTs may not be reliable and may end up costing players who buy them. You think so? Never be the last person holding an NFT. That's the saying. You don't want to be the last person. Get in early. As such, to ensure that Minecraft players have a safe and inclusive experience, in bold, It's funny how they got you to read it this far. They could have said up front, blockchain technologies are not permitted to be integrated inside our Minecraft client and server applications, nor may they be utilized to create NFTs associated with any in-game content, including worlds, skins, persona items, or other mods. There you go. Get fucked.
Yep. So I don't know. I don't know that this. I have no idea what kind of money is in this NFT world. I thought I read something. I can't tell. But basically, a bunch of people who've been buying into this shit are now left without a platform. And NFT Worlds came out and said, "Well, we'll make our own game."
I'm sure that'll be great. I mean, the problem is
because if you could make your own game, then why didn't you do that from the start? Well, because you want to make this as cheap as possible, but
you also wanted to prey upon a huge fan base.
Yeah,
which, by the way, happen to be a lot of younger people as well, which also makes this even more disgusting. A lot of kids and younger adults play Minecraft.
Just a couple of quick NFT updates because I went to Web3 is going great.
Another
update. This is a big one. I can't believe this hasn't been talked about more. That fucking scumbag Musk. Tesla announces they sold 75% of their Bitcoin.
They took a loss on just about all of it.
So these fucking assholes who are out there being like, this is the future, aren't even holding on to their fucking Bitcoin.
I thought it came out that they sold, but now it's coming out just how much they sold?
Well, this is from July 20th, so maybe I just missed it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
75%.
They took a loss.
Yeah, of course. And then GameStop's NFT marketplace is still going great. Apparently, there is a NFT mimicking the 9/11 victim who jumped out of a window.
Oh, I almost forgot. Yes. And the worst part about it is that you have to be pre-approved to put your shit on that. I mean, I'm sure.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm
sure it's just rubber stamped. Did they take that shit down yet? Because I remember that was on it 24 hours later.
GameStop's brand new NFT platform. Blah, 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 blah. One of their artists, Jules, created an NFT clearly modeled after The Falling Man, a well-known photograph of a man falling from the upper floors of the World Trade Center during the September 11th attacks in New York City. The NFT is titled Falling Man. It's a person wearing an astronaut suit, but
same exact pose,
it's clearly
same
the
background.
And it doesn't say, this was from the 23rd. It doesn't say if they got rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, gross.
Yep. Bottom feeders.
Yeah. It really goes to show you it's not just they have no sort of moral compass for what they're doing in general because of NFTs, but then it goes to show you, we'll just go the extra step and do something. What's one of the worst possible things we can quote unquote make our art from? And we'll do that. We'll do someone that chose to jump to their death versus being burnt alive. That's what we'll do as our art. Whew. Well, that was fun. Fuck you, NFTs.
That was a marathon start to the podcast.
Yes, it was.